courtyard, a tree with flowers, and a table of delicious food. Everything in the world, only delicious food and beautiful scenery can be lived up to. Sun Valley, a wonderful journey for taste buds. Here, every dish is a carefully cooked work of art. From the selection of fresh ingredients, to the unique cooking skills, to the exquisite arrangement, all of them show our persistence and love for food. Entering our restaurant, you will be attracted by the Sun Valley. Whether it is warm lights, comfortable seats, or unique decoration, it will create a relaxing and pleasant dining environment for you. Our service team is warm and thoughtful, always paying attention to your needs and making you feel at home. Come to Sun Valley and let delicious food and beauty meet. Address Gure, next to Mary Queen Church. Order phone number 09-280-76300.
Driving in demanding environments can make your engine work harder, adding stress to all the internal components, making them wear out more quickly. Engine combustion produces ash and other deposits that can form a sludge, blocking vital oilways and restricting oil flow throughout your engine. ADNOC Voyager is specially formulated to guard against sludge buildup by cleaning your engine. ADNOC Voyager is certified by major car manufacturers and is engineered for optimum performance, ensuring maximum protection throughout the life of your engine. ADNOC Voyager. Drive with confidence.
Go. South Sudan celebrates International Day of UN Peacekeepers. And SPLM-IO faces major blows as 600 forces declare loyalty to SSPDF in Maban County. Good afternoon. It is 30th of May 2025 and we welcome you to SSBC Afternoon News. I am Akuchi Makir and we begin our newscast from the State House where President Salva Kiir Mayardit on Thursday officially sworn in a group of 26 newly appointed and promoted ambassadors. The president calls on them to be representatives of South Sudan, urging unity within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and a renewed commitment to integrity and discipline in the diplomatic service, directing Finance Ministry to prioritize the timely payment of salaries for embassy staff. SSBC's Aliandro Lotok reports.
أدى القسم أمام رئيس الجمهورية سلفا كير ميادت 41 سفيرا تم تكليفهم بتمثيل جنوب السودان في الخارج. حضر الاحتفال الذي أقيم بالقصر الرئاسي عدد من مسؤولي الحكومة ومنتسبي السلك الدبلوماسي. وأكد الرئيس كير في كلمته للسفراء الجدد إن صورة وسمعة جنوب السودان.
With a firm tone and clear message, President Salva Kiir Mayardit presided over the swearing-in of 41 newly appointed and promoted ambassadors tasked with representing South Sudan's interests abroad and reshaping the nation's foreign policy in line with global standards. Kiir emphasized that South Sudan's image and credibility abroad depend largely on the conduct of its diplomats.
I urge you all to be obedient, committed, and professional in discharging your duties, observing the highest level of integrity and discipline.
The president also used the occasion to assure public servants, particularly those serving in foreign missions, of his administration's efforts to improve working conditions.
The government is doubling its efforts improve the working conditions for the ministry and indeed across the government departments. That is why I had directed His Excellency the Vice President for Economic Cluster to ensure payment of public servants.
And in what could signal a strategic overhaul of the country's foreign policy machinery, President Kiir announced that he has approved the initiation of reforms within the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
I have approved initiation of reforms that would result in restructuring of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. These minimum reforms will certainly improve efficiency in the performances of the ministry to deliver results that are aligned to our foreign policy priorities.
Foreign Affairs Minister Mande Semaya Kumba, who also addressed the gathering, reaffirmed the ministry's readiness to collaborate with the new envoys.
This promotion came in a time whereby the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, under your wise leadership and the guidance from your end, is embarking on reform policies that should meet the expectation of Your Excellency and expectation of our people, including the expectation of our global and regional partners. For the newly appointed and promoted ambassadors, I would like to say I'm very grateful to see you here. South Sudan is waiting for you. The people of South Sudan is waiting for you. And I do believe that with your appointment and promotion, that marks the beginning of the new challenge and the new responsibility in the line of your diplomatic career. And I'm very confident that you will be able to handle these challenges and responsibilities.
The ambassadors themselves pledge to uphold the values of South Sudan and carry out their mandate with discipline, diplomacy, and patriotism.
We are proud to serve this nation, its people, the government, with unwavering commitment, dedication, and zeal. As emissaries of South Sudan, we have accepted and we promise you that this trust you place in us is not a sign of rewards, but it will be our continuation to our service to this great nation.
In a separate development, the President directed the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security to prioritize investments in agriculture to support farmers and boost local food production. This directive follows a comprehensive briefing from Agriculture Minister Abdelbagi Akolai on the government's strategic plan to revitalize agriculture, starting with the current planting season.
أنا جيت نورت عن استعدادنا لموسم الزراعة بتاع السنة ده واستعدادنا على مؤتمر الزراعة القومية، وأنا نورت برضو على كيفية نحن نتعامل مع عدد بتاع البابورات التركترات الجو لموسم بتاع الزراعة. نحن بالحقيقة اتفقنا مع سيد الرئيس إنه التركترات ده ما ندو لأفراد، التركترات يدو لمجموعات بتاع تعاونيات، ونحن ندعمه بالتركتر وندعمه بالبذور المحسنة وندعمه بالجاس. والرئيس وعدنا إنه نحن نقيف معه ويدعم وزارة الزراعة. برضو نحن ناورناه بغرض بتاع زيارتنا لبرازيل. اتفاقات نحن نوقع أمام برضو اتفاقات في مجالات مختلفة.
The minister praised the president's steadfast support for agriculture, noting that his leadership is instrumental in promoting farming and improving livelihoods in the country. Alejandro Lotok, SSBC News.
Smart Africa, a Rwandan-based Pan-African organization, says it is advancing its capabilities in reforming South Sudan's ICT sector. The organization revealed this in a meeting with the Minister of Information, Communication Technology and Postal Services, Michael Makwendloeth, where they discussed the country's engagement in technological advancement. The ministry's Undersecretary for Telecommunication, Thomas Gatquoth, who attended the meeting, stated in press briefing that South Sudan would be working closely with the Smart Africa in its quest for economic digitization and transformation of artificial intelligence society. Smart Africa's head of delegation expresses the organization's readiness assisting South Sudan's institutions, including Information Ministry, National Communication Authority, to strengthen ICT by establishing cybersecurity and data protection agencies.
South Sudan is a founding member, and the President of South Sudan, President Salva, is member of the board. The importance of Smart Africa is to have a digital economy for the region and digitize everything and changing the society from a digital society and today to an artificial intelligence society.
This is really an exceptional moment for us to visit South Sudan, to visit the Honorable Minister, to talk about the advancement of the organizations, as well as to see exactly how we can jumpstart the engagement and the participations of South Sudan. I'm talking about not only the ministry, the agencies, for example, the NCA, as well as the upcoming cybersecurity agency or data protection agency they are willing to put in place. And Smart Africa, of course, will be more than happy to assist South Sudan.
The Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs and the Director for Human Rights Division at United Nations Mission in South Sudan have discussed areas of support for the establishment of the Transitional Justice Commission in the country. In a statement to the media, the ministry's Under-Secretary Mary Ajit says the meeting focused on Chapter 5 of the Revitalized Peace Agreement and human rights-related issues in the country, with UNMISS Director for Political Division, Musa Yero, reiterating commitment to deepen collaboration with the government in supporting the Transitional Justice Commission establishment in South Sudan.
We discussed issues on Chapter 5 and issues concerning with human rights, and we agree that we will be supporting each other. And from there, we started also appreciating the United Nations and African Union by them receiving the call from the Republic of South Sudan to identify three non-South Sudanese for the Commission of Truth and Reconciliation and Healing. Therefore, we agree that we should be working closely with the UNMISS, and we put budget in place for the members of the non-South Sudanese coming to participate in the Commission for Truth and Reconciliation of Healing.
Talked about also how we can work together to support the Transitional Justice Chapter 5 of the Peace Agreement and how we could support the implementation of what is already ongoing. We talked about also how the ministry would work with me in ensuring that most of the recommendations coming from the international treaty bodies are implemented. Already, the ministry has a very good action plan.
The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Hussein Abdelbagi Akol, and the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, resident representative discussed their collaborative efforts on the Rural Enterprise and Agriculture Development Program. This program is designed to bolster livelihoods in South Sudan's rural areas by enhancing agricultural activities and fostering the growth of small businesses. This initiative is crucial for the nation's journey towards food self-sufficiency and the broader objective of poverty reduction in its most vulnerable communities. In a statement to the media, UNDP resident representative Mohamed Abshir confirmed that a joint technical mission comprising experts from the International Fund for Agricultural Development and the UNDP is currently in South Sudan. The mission's objective is to assess the progress of the REAT project's implementation. Mohamed reiterated the UNDP's steadfast commitment to supporting the ministry's efforts.
There is currently a technical mission from IFAD jointly with UNDP this week to also assess the progress in the terms of implementation of that particular project. So the minister then gave us his own guidance on the way forward. He really insisted on the need to quickly kickstart and accelerate the implementation of that program, and also to see impact very quickly and shortly on the South Sudanese, but at local level. This is in a nutshell what we have discussed with the Minister. I've reiterated UNDP commitment to support the ministry, and I was also very pleased to hear from the Minister his.
And now SSBC's afternoon news is taking its first short break. Stay tuned, we'll be back with more stories after the break. Welcome back from that short break. Now to proceed with our news bulletin. The Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology, Madun Biariel, has on Monday visited the admission office at the Ministry of General Education as part of his familiarization tour of departments, directorates under his ministry. During the visit, the Acting Director General for Admission, Alfred Yanga, briefed the Minister on several operational challenges facing the Directorate, including delay in releasing students' admissions results, which he attributed to limited financial resources. The Minister's visit is part of a broader effort to understand the internal workings of the ministry and to explore strategies for improving service delivery in the higher education sector.
The Minister, newly appointed, is in my program to visit all the departments of higher education, all the directorates, and the issue of Ethiopian scholarship is just a minor thing. But actually, if he was there, I would have come also to visit all the staff in the ministry. So it is not actually being a push from the scholarship of Ethiopia, but it is a regular official visit to all the directorates. But what I have seen is that the offices are very small, very congested, and that is actually could not be the real office for the admission of our students to various universities. So what I have seen is what actually I'm going to sit down with the senior staff of the ministry, together with the DG for admission, and then we will try to improve the situation here, offices face, and also other areas where actually people can work comfortably to do their work.
We have several challenges One of them is, as people, the whole country is aware that the admission of students to the universities is here, but it is delayed because of lack of money. And as a result, the students who are now supposed to be in the university have no way out because their admission has not been processed. This is one of the biggest challenges that we are facing. There are others, but we will have time to say that.
The Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Albino Akol Atak, and the Chairperson for South Sudan Relief and Rehabilitation Commission, Stephen Quaith, met with a delegation from the Center for Humanitarian Dialogue on Thursday. The meeting centered on the follow-up of the commitments made during the declarations of humanitarian dialogue held in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania last year. Speaking to SSBC after the meeting, the Deputy Chairperson for South Sudan Relief and Rehabilitation, Agwek Ring Mabil, said the delegation came to meet the minister and highlighted concerns on humanitarian activities in the country, notably the movement of humanitarian actors and cargo and the challenges facing their operations. On his part, Senior Advisor for the Center for Humanitarian Dialogue, Mark, said the mission was to ensure the Dar es Salaam declaration is holistically implemented and encourage the government to fill the gap left by the U.S. aid cut in the country.
Our meeting was based on implementation of the commitment of Dar Declaration and priorities of upcoming humanitarian dialogue activities. And in our meeting, we have highlighted the key issues on U.S. aid cut that has affected some of the projects which were been operating here. The government also is working to bridging the gap on the human aid cut to be fulfilled by the government. For example, like now the government is delivering food, airdrop in Nasser and Wulang. These are the procedures of fulfilling the bridging gap of the U.S. aid cut.
The minister has been very instrumental in helping to ensure that there are agreed commitments, which we talked about their implementation in this meeting. And I very much look forward to our next meeting, which is going to take place in September, where again the minister and hopefully his team will continue to participate, and we look at how we can implement more of those commitments that were made around the Dar dialogue. Some of those commitments have already been met, but we will try and update those to look at the new challenges that are being faced in
South Sudan and South Africa have renewed their full commitment to developing bilateral relations, especially with regard to tourism development and marketing. This came during a meeting between Minister of Wildlife Conservation and Tourism, Rizik Zakaria Hassan, with the visiting South African delegation headed by the Director General of African Affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. SSBC Martin Justice reports.
Pleasure to have you here in the ministry today. How are you? I'm fine.
Following up on the agreements South Sudan and South Africa have concluded, especially on wildlife conservation and tourism marketing, the Director General of the African Affairs in the South African Ministry of Foreign Affairs is visiting South Sudan to discuss ways to strengthen bilateral relations. And the spotlight is moving forward in development and tourism marketing, as well as building the capacity of the employees of the wildlife conservation forces. After the meeting bringing together the Minister of Wildlife Conservation and Tourism, Rizik Zakaria Hassan, and the South African delegation, the minister elaborates on the conversation.
And in these discussions also we have narrated the areas of possible collaborations in terms of wildlife management and for tourism promotions, can also have sensed the areas of the media's promotions, plus lastly the issues of welcoming tourists from our two countries.
The Director General of the African Affairs in the South African Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Tibogo Siokolo, recommits his country to promoting relations, including sustainable partnership in the tourism sector.
We committed to facilitating those exchanges that will cover a broad range of fields, from tourism products development, capacity building for the tourism sector, and for various stakeholders, as well as the marketing, the promotion of our respective countries as destination for tourists.
The South African ambassador to South Sudan, Advocate Maholdi Mofi, says consultations between the two countries will continue until the desired goal is achieved.
We will be engaging all the time to ensure that the technocrats and business people from South Africa and vice versa, from South Sudan to South Africa, they'll start engaging vigorously to ensure that we assist each other as both sisterly countries in developing economically, especially in the wildlife tourism.
South Sudan and South African have struck the joint cooperations in the wildlife conservation and tourism since 2022. Martin Justin Paul Kose, SSBC, Juba. The Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries, in collaboration with the United Nations Food and Agricultural Organization, donated poultry items to Logo Mix Farm at Rajab Payam of Juba County. The multipurpose cooperative farm includes fish, poultry, honey and goats. Speaking to the media at the site, the Minister of Livestock and Fisheries, Onyoti Adingo, says the ministry is prioritizing on commercializing the livestock sector to make it more beneficiary in the country. Central Equatoria State Minister of Animal Resources, Alex, commended the national government and FAO for the efforts toward commercializing the livestock sector. FAO Country Director Meshak Malo says the organization is committed to supporting the country's livestock sector. Wani, the chairperson of Logo Mix Farm, says climate change presents significant challenges to livestock production, leading to reduced animal health and reproductive efficiency.
The cattle keepers themselves, they rear cattle, they kill themselves. The cattle keepers and the farmers, they are in conflict, they kill themselves. It means that our cows, our livestock is of no use. So our policy is to have cooperatives. Cooperative is the one building us together.
To thank Honorable Minister for always supporting the state government in the efforts that we are yelling to commercialize not only the livestock sector but also the agriculture sector as a broad concept.
It's really good that at least you came in person to see for yourself our strength and our weaknesses, what we lack and what we really request. This farm, we started with something like 7 cows. Some of them was passed because this is zero grazing. And unfortunately with zero grazing, there are so many factors that make also even those cows die. One of them was the climate. Wherever we got them, it was a different climate. And the way they reach here, they were also subjected to kind of.
And now we are going for another short break. Stay with us. Welcome back from that short break. Now to proceed, the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, Akwe Ibona, joined United Nations agencies in commemorating the International Day of United Nations Peacekeepers. The day honors peacekeepers worldwide who have lost their lives in the line of duty. Addressing the ceremony, Deputy Minister Ibona commended troop contributing countries for their service and sacrifice in South Sudan. Guang Kong, Deputy Special Representative of the UN Secretary General for Political Affairs, says the day is to remember men and women serving under the UN flag and that their sacrifice will never be forgotten.
I would like to thank the troop contributing countries who allow many of you to be here to serve us in South Sudan. So we thank you. We appreciate your work and your dedication to the cause of peace for us and on behalf of the world.
Today, we remember our own colleagues serving with the United Nations mission in South Sudan who sadly passed away in the last year. We express our deep condolences to their families. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten, and their legacy inspired us to continue all the efforts in the pursuit of peace.
The United Nations mission in South Sudan commemorates International Day of UN Peacekeepers in Eastern Equatorial State, capital Torit, under the theme, Peace Begins with Me. Speaking during the event, the State Information Minister, John Al-Haji, says the government and people of Eastern Equatorial State are partners of peace. Meanwhile, the UNMISS acting head of field office in Torit, Sevik Tahid, appeals to the people of Eastern Equatorial State to work collectively in bringing peace to the nation. The International Day of the United Nations Peacekeepers is observed annually on May 29th to pay tributes to all men and women who have served and continue to serve in the United Nations peacekeeping operation for their dedication and courage, and to honor the memory of those who have lost their lives in the cause of peace.
As we commemorate this day, World Peacekeepers Day, and we, the government and people of Eastern Equatorial State, are partners of peace. That is why we have chosen peace over violence. That is why we have chosen dialogue over confrontation. And for this reason, let us work together to maintain peace in Eastern Equatoria as the beacon of peaceful state in South Sudan.
Ladies and gentlemen, this year, the theme of the International Day of UN Peacekeeper in South Sudan is Peace Begins with Me. It highlights the importance of individual responsibility, knowing that every action we take, no matter how small, contributes to the collective movement for peace. It encourages us to celebrate diversity, embrace unity, and ensure every voice is heard in building the nation. For UNMISS, peace begins with partnership, working alongside with regional and international actors and the people of South Sudan to lay the foundations for a peaceful and prosperous society. Despite the many challenges we are facing today, we are inspired by unrelenting passion for peace in South Sudan. As an impartial partner, UNMISS' role is to support all parties leading to transformation of this country. Here in Eastern Equatoria, I would like to extend a special thank you to His Excellency Governor for all his endeavors in making sure the people of this state live in peace.
The Western Bahr Ghazal Ministry of Health, in collaboration with Italian's Emergency Health Organization, launched a campaign to screen congenital malformations among children. The campaign aims to raise awareness about risk, promoting healthy pregnancies, and ensuring access to medical care. The doctors would provide health services and perform free surgeries at the health center in Entebbe, Uganda. Speaking during the event, State Health Minister Dr. Francis Michael calls on parents of children with congenital malformations to bring them to WOW Teaching Hospital. Meanwhile, the Director General of WOW Teaching Hospital, Lawrence Ochala, urges to screen patients with urinary tract, cardiac and pediatric surgery cases. For her part, Dr. Isham Ramadan, representative of the Italian Emergency Health Organization, confirmed that the organization would cover the cost of transportation and accommodation of patients in Uganda and perform surgeries.
دايرين نشكر المنظمة للمرة الثانية، ونكتة مهم برضو ما يفوتني نقوله للمرضى والمرافقين على أساس إنه يكون المركز اللي في أنتيبه ده ما أول مرة، ده مركز معترف به عالميا، ويمكن لحد الآن هم يمكن عملوا أكثر من 4500 عمليات في مثل العمليات اللي انتم ماشيين له، ويمكن شافوا أكثر من 39,000 للمرضى، ومن خلاله من عملوا 4500 حالات. فانتوا يتمنوا ده مركز كبير معترف به عالميا. فمن ناحية ده نحن ما نخاف، نحن كجيل مسؤول نحن متأكدين من كل الإجراءات والسلامة بتاعتكم.
سكرينينج أمراض بتاعت التشوهات الخلقية، يعني يشمل أمراض بتاعت ضيق بتاعت المجرى البولي، وأمراض بتاعت الشقوق في الفم، وأمراض بتاعت الحريق بيقول له بان كونتراكشن. فإحنا مبسوطين في الولاية، فرصة كبيرة لمواطنين بتاعت ولاية غرب الخضال بصفة خاصة الناس اللي قاعدين في واو أنه يجيبوا أطفالهم ويعملوا لهم سكرينينج، وزي ما ذكرت المنسقة بتاعت
ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعرفكم بنفسي، أنا جيهان هاشم رمضان. نحن جروب من منظمة الطوارئ الإيطالية. الطوارئ منظمة مهتمة بالصحة عامة بالنسبة للمرضى بتاعنا القلب والأطفال اللي بيحتاجوا لجراحات عندهم مشاكل وعيوب خلقية. المستشفى في زيارة لمستشفى واو حيكون محتاج لجراحة، المنظمة مكفلة إنها تقدم له الخدمات مجانية من العملية والإقامة في المستشفى في يوغندا، الإقامة والتذاكر بتاعت السفر والطيران وكل أي حاجة هي العيوب الخلقية والتشوهات اللي تحصل للأطفال من الولادة. دي النوعية المستهدفة اللي هم بيحتاجوا لجراحات خاصة جدا جدا ما متوفرة في كل المستشفيات، وأحيانا بتكون مكلفة جدا لأنه المريض بيحتاج لجراحة على كم.
Defection in SPLM-IO continues as 600 forces led by Major General Achaya Tanaya declared defection to the SSPDF in Maban County of Upper Nile State. In his welcoming remark, the Commissioner of Maban County, John Paul, says the decision taken by the group reflects commitment to peace and unity. Head of the group, Major General Achaya Tanaya, affirms unwavering commitment to peace and stability. Former Commissioner of Maban County, Abdallah Munyo, describes the decision taken by the group is a good gesture to pave way for development and basic service delivery in the area. Maban County Military Commander, Brigadier General Makwei Mading, welcomed the forces and assured them of their safety.
الانضمام العسكري ل SSPDF ده حاجة كبير مرة واحد، من أنا ذات مقصود عشان هم ينجح، ووجودهم في الحكومة ده بيكون أفضل. زي ما هم قال قبل بيكون ما في أي تاني، أنا متأكد منهم هم عارفين ما في أي تاني في خلا، ونقول له حكومة ولاية ولا حكومة القومي والمقاطع ذاته ننمن أنه سلام جه، ونقول لهم ذاته مبروك لكم للجاية بتاعكم كلكم، بلد بتاعنا ونمشي قدام ناس الوردة تسأل ما مخليجي أبواب بتاع SSPDF أما أخومة بتاع ولاية مفتوح لأي زول. الحركة بتاع مواطن من مقاطع لبعنا شوا بكون فري. هذا كده الما في حاجة اسمها أي وتاني هنا زي ما هم قالوا المواطن من هنا بهرج يمشي لآخر بعنا شوا آخر أراضي بتاع ما بان.
انضمام بتاع الزملاء بتاعنا للحكومة ده حاجة كبير وأكيد استيلات أنا بقوم معف. لو باقي الناس الفضلوا ورا أنينا لسه نواصل معهم بتلفونات زي ما كان قاعدين نواصل دايرين اريا بتاع مابان كله يكون سيف. خاصة جنوب مابان ده يا ناس ركز عليهم نشوف عدو بتاعنا الورا داك.
فايو جي دمت لأكوما وجوا وصل معيسة ده 600 وباق جوا لسه ورا وجوا لنا جبت سفرون وسنا لسه جايين وأدب الجينا بيو بنو الزمن ده كله نينا في آيو وزول ما لقى حق بتوع ونينا جينا وصلنا في عافية وفي الزمن ده كله عندنا اتصالات مع قائد الماسك وبرجد 1 في ديفيسن 1 وسيد المحافظ في مقاطعة مابان عندنا اتصالات معه وبنا اتصالات بتاعنا ماشي كويس عشان ناجي يضم في حكومة والناس اللي يدانهم.
يعني الانضمام للأسباب يمكن في أخوان في الحكومة عندهم يد عشان الناس يضموا والناس يمشوا للتنمية بتاع البلد. لأن هسه هنا ماشي لك 4 سنة ناس قاعدين في الخلا ما لاقين أي حاجة عشان ناس يقدر يوسع المنطقة. هذا كلها سوارة بقى ما في هسه هذا ناس ماشيين بنقول في حاجات ما في أي حاجة. وعشان كده نظرنا قلنا أخير ناس ينضموا للحكومة عشان ناس يقدر يعمل تنمية بيت البلد.
Authorities of Juba County, in collaboration with Whiter Peace and Development Initiative, graduated 108 women to business entrepreneurship. The initiative aims at supporting women's entrepreneurs to overcome challenges they face in running their businesses and improve business performance. We have the report.
Women's Livelihood Project targets empowering women for self-reliance. Speaking at the graduation, the director of Luri Payam in Juba County, Hilary Juma, calls upon the women to apply their new knowledge and skills proactively.
Requesting you, this money that Waiteka has done, has given you, it is transforming you from 0 to 1 and to 3. So this transformation that you got because of this empowering rural women. And I'm requesting Waiteka also to write another project to open adultery school to keep money. It is not easy. Also, to plan for your business needs education. So we need that school also to be open 2 hours, 3 hours for women so that they really get a good knowledge for keeping money.
Whitaker Peace and Development Initiative Deputy Country Director Gama Hassan says the organization prioritizes empowering women in various domains, including business entrepreneurship.
The areas they are trading, business entrepreneurship and village saving and loan association. Last year, we trained 118 women in the same sector. These women group are put into groups of 10. Each group will be given seed money. This seed money is called revolving fund. So the revolving fund is given in the group.
Central Equatoria State Women's Union Chairperson Cecilia Laco commends the organization for contributing in improving women's livelihood skills, asserting women play greater roles in the society.
Knowledge, وديلتا قروش ده حاجة كبير المنظمة وديلتا وحاجة ده ما وديلتا كونساكت لكن ده إرادة ترابا عشان هو بقدر يختار كل زول في بيت بتاعه عشان وايتك odilo sunu hedeta silu serious fi haya bita laanu meki bidarisita lakin shokola alta giramulu kanta ma careful ita ma benaja der tabukuni du sobo.
Empowering them in livelihood skills will significantly support family cohesion.
Kan zaman ma barfo na bamulu business anna lakin pesi na bamulu asan Christmas bijamiten asan na bibi gumasata yar asan na bakulu mulal quest taban laham kaman gabulu min Christmas les Christmas lakin asibida anna ma bamulu kida umendere so anna asan jada gurus fujabi كيف أنا بعرف سكروس أنا كيف أنا بريكون كروس أنا كيف أنا ذات بيجي كيف ما يال في بيت أنا بودي رسالة تاني لو ساسين بتاعنا تواتك ربنا كده بار بيتكم أبي بتاعكم كله دراسة بتاعكم ده كده ما كلنا براو دراسة ده برضو كمان كده رو على هذه الإيال بتاعكم.
Isaac Ludori Emmanuel, SSBC News, Juba.
And that story finally brings us to the end of our news this afternoon. We thank you for joining us on SSBC. On behalf of the team, I am Akuch Maker. Bye-bye for now and enjoy the rest of the program coming up.